Um, yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about my day really quick. Maybe talk about the weekend. Um, Basically, uh, well, I mean, as the title indicates, like I have kind of just started exploring sort of mental health stuff and therapy, and yeah, this is actually. I guess I'll start by saying this has been something that I've been wanting to do for a number of years now. Specifically, um, I guess specifically since like my life first started getting like super stressful, which kind of happened while making YouTube videos on this channel, maybe like 8 or 9 years ago, where yeah, I mean, I am the child of a mental health professional. That's something that we've talked about a lot in my household, but was never really something that I actually um, had access to or explored, especially during like really intense, fucked up periods that my family was not doing so great financially, and homelessness and stuff, and yeah. So now today was just kind of like a weirdly perfect day where all of these signs were pointing towards this, where um, yeah, like I was just kind of involved in conversation after conversation about with my friends today, about mental health and about them like seeing professionals and talking shit out, and things really working out for them. And I tried to use my school's mental health, center, or the student health center a year ago, and I made the mistake of going on their website, and they have some like just like alarming ass, like ridiculous self-diagnosis kind of like tests that you can take, um, that kind of guides you to. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like someone should lose their medical license for that, because it's just like very, I mean, like if there's a question that like it would like literally have like a question that's just like, do you experience intense depression? And it's like, yes or no. Or like, do you have do you currently have thoughts of committing suicide? Yes or no? And like for the depression one, if you said no, then it's just like, oh, you don't like, you maybe don't have depression. And if you said yes, it says like you do have depression. I was like messing around with all of the answers, and it's just like it wasn't super helpful, and I got really discouraged. And then I felt like, oh, maybe I guess if I'm not like literally on the ledge of a building, then maybe I don't need to be exploring this. But I mean, the truth of the matter is, I do, and it's like long overdue. And I'm really glad that I have a lot of friends. I'm really glad for all of these like coincidental conversations, one after another, throughout my day. And I'm really glad that I am embedded in a friend group where we talk about mental health, and I was brought up in a family where that sort of thing wasn't stigmatized. So I feel really lucky about that. So yeah, girl. I mean, I'm not gonna like spill too much tea, because a lot of this is kind of like a really intense private process dealing with experiences and thoughts, actions that I haven't given myself time to process, but or work through, or even understand. But yeah, I mean, I had my like consultation kind of session today, and it was fine. I was kind of like speaking to this some mental health professional. She was just a really friendly, chill white woman who she was pretty easy to talk to, right? I'm yeah, I'm going into this experience like wanting to open up, and I think that will be productive for me later. But like, yeah, she was kind of digging deep. She was like, yeah, this will be a 15-minute conversation. Like, this is just like a consultation thing for me to assess kind of where you're at, and then we can see like which professional would be best for you to do your work with moving forward. And I'm like, okay, girl, like, yeah, I'm expecting like little questions about my life or my household or my upbringing, like whatever. Um, that shit was not 15 minutes. We were talking for like an hour, and, and she was like digging very deep into some shit, and like we were using terms for certain things that I just didn't use, I've never used before, that were really intense. And yeah, it was just a lot. And kind of at the end of it, she's like, okay, cool. I think we're ready to kind of match you with someone. Like, do you have any preferences about who you want to like, who you want to work with? And very plainly, it was like, I don't know if y'all can do this because keep in mind, I live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. You know, I don't live in Tokyo anymore. I don't live in Los Angeles or New York or even in Atlanta. Um, so yeah, it's like I don't know if y'all can do this. Just being realistic about where we are, but like if you can match me with another like queer trans person of color, or specifically like a black person, yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I don't really have specifics about like this person's gender or anything. And yeah, I don't know. She opened up. I don't know. She opened up this like conversation about like what my preferences were for who I wanted to work with in a way that made it seem like that was an okay thing to say, and it was an okay thing to say. But I guess something about what I said just like caught her off guard, and she was just like very flustered about that preference. She's like, "Oh, thank you for sharing that." And she was like, "Yeah, I think if we," and she was just kind of like stumbling over her words like through this entire time up until then she was like super clear, very articulate person, and then like we reached this point where she was just like, yeah, I don't we're gonna I'll have to see, and it was just it was a lot. But I ended up getting kind of paired with I don't know if they're queer or trans, but um my therapist is that I'm gonna start seeing is a black person, the black man. So that's pretty cool. Like I'm pretty cool with that. I was kind of looking into his little profile and his background, and it seemed pretty chill. Um, but yeah, I don't know. So I just kind of wanted to talk about like starting this journey. I think this is like super cool and super important. And if anyone listening to me right now is sort of like one like in a place where they have the resources to like access this sort of care, and then two on the fence about whether or not they should do it, then like I don't know. Hopefully, maybe this is like I don't know. I thought I was just gonna have a regular day, and I end up having all these conversations that end up pushing me to like actually finally doing it, like recognizing where I am, recognizing the resources I can take advantage of right now, and just like actually going out there and like doing this and having this mini session today that was already kind of like quite the experience. And my first session, because like, and especially in the university, these little like student health centers or whatever, things get kind of wild where at the end of every semester they get like super overwhelmed because everyone's having mental health crises regarding finances and regarding grades and classes and all of that shit, and like that's really intense. Or like graduating or post college plans, like they become super overwhelmed. So I'm like really glad that I did this now and not later. One, because I'm about to graduate, so I'm not going to have access to this institution anymore. I might do more school after this, and I might be fine, but like that's not guaranteed. Um, and two, yeah, I kind of like so far I've like beaten this rush, and I was able to just walk in and then have this hour long kind of consultation, and then like get put on the schedule to get matched with a therapist and get to see them a week from now, and that's when my regular visits with that person will start. So I don't know. I'm pretty happy right now. I was kind of having like a really gloomy day, and this weekend was kind of weird. Um, and I've been doing a lot to kind of keep myself from slipping into like some kind of weird depressive funk. Um, and yesterday that took the form of just spending a lot of time dancing to Beyonce, and today that took the form of actually formally, reaching out to a mental health professional. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm gonna go. I hope everyone is having a good, I don't know, end of January, start of February, whenever you watch this. Um, I have literally nothing else to report. A lot of you have sent me some really interesting questions regarding um, Islam or Black Muslim communities here in North Carolina. And I think that's really cool. I I really want to quickly recognize my last video. Kind of like I don't regret anything I said in my last video, but I do think the tone. Most people actually didn't have a problem with it, so that's cool. But like the tone definitely rubbed a few people the wrong way, and um, I'm not going to apologize for that. But I think I do recognize that's something that I wasn't expecting, and so I recognize now how I can like um, I don't know. I think I have like I'm learning a lot. And part of like I'm even learning about how to talk about my own experiences in ways that are like as clear as possible. So yeah, that's like something I'm working on. But like I mean, I don't want to be super backhanded about it, but like, I do want to reaffirm that, like, I don't know, my last two videos weren't that wild, but there were a couple people who, there were a few like little essays in my comments, and those were actually generally fine. I disagreed with a few people, but like, I didn't walk away from those interactions necessarily feeling bad. There were some people up in my inbox though who were just acting a damn fool, and yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I feel like there's so many kind of like identities or groups of people who are in spaces where you're just living your life, or you're just like moving through the world, and like, not it's not just that people have a comment on it, because like in my last video I like welcome people to sort of like ask questions, work through some subjects for me relating to like queerness, Islam, just me as a human being that people have watched for the last 10 years. But like, yeah, there are some people who it's just really weird that there's like a certain tier of society that like, okay, now I'm being extra, but like, if you have a genuine question, then ask it. But like, I feel like there's a lot of people who enter a conversation under the guise of like, yeah, I have a question, but that question actually is just like, yeah, I want to use this as a wedge to just like literally vent to you about how I think your identity or this aspect of you is fucked up. And like, I'm just going to let you know because that's what you're there for. You're there for me to vent at. And I think those sorts of people um, have a lot of shit they need to work through. And I'm not going to be the one to do that for them. Anyways, I gotta go, but take it easy, and yeah.